Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. This is episode 15. And in this week's episode, we discussed the crypto crash that took place this past week. Yeah, we talk about the crypto market a little bit in the beginning of the show, but from there we get into different tobacco wrappers. We discuss our experiences between dark versus light tobacco wrappers. Also, speaking of rappers, we talk about the versus battle this week between Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3-6 Mafia. And of course, can't forget the stars of the show, the Cigars. Hey, Denzel's got a My Father's La Opulencia this week, and I had a Vegas number 5. So tune in to hear what we have to say about those sticks and hear the ratings that we give them at the end of the episode. Look, I'm not gonna hold you. Let's get into this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. All right, y'all, welcome to the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, episode 15. We're back with another one.
Yes, sir.
All right, my name is Jared, and Denzel is my co-host. Now, we are going to be doing another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast where we're going to be having a morning smoke. It's becoming a little bit of a routine. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like it. All right, so we're going to get into the stars of the show. Go ahead and start. I got a 5 Vegas, a classic is what I'm smoking today, with a white mocha coffee, a white mocha hot chocolate with a little coffee dumped in that. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So what you running with today?
I got a little French vanilla iced coffee, little Dunkin' run this time. You know what I'm saying? No McCafe, no Starbucks, but a little bit of Dunkin' Donuts run. With a little bit of brandy in it, a little Ciroc brandy. So I mean, it's morning, so I'm keeping it morning-ish. But then again, it's the weekend, so you know what I'm saying. Got the little Ciroc brandy going with it. A little splash, just a light splash.
Hey man, I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at all. All right, and with that being said, what do you got? What are you gonna be smoking today?
Well, I'm playing it safe. Going with a top 5 of mine. I'm actually going into pulling out one of my top 5s, and that's the My Father's La Opulencia. So we're gonna go with that today. Garcia and Garcia, they do a really good My Father's brand. The green band. Anytime you see the green band, you know that's the good one. That's one of the go-tos for me.
Cool. I respect it. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into the cigars, man. You ready to clip and light?
Oh, yeah, I'm already clipped. I already got mine clipped at the top.
I'm clipped too, man. I went with a straight. What you go with?
Straight cut for me.
Okay.
So not the regular for that, but I am going back with the here we go. We got the Dark Fire Cedar Spills.
My man.
You know, so we're going with the morning vibe. I got a great cigar. I want to go ahead and set it up with the best light possible. You know, we're gonna go with the top 5. We're gonna give it the top 5 treatment.
I'm with that. I got some cedar sticks myself here, and I'm gonna be using matches on those. I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
Let's get them toasted up. All right, so while we're getting toasted, man, something I woke up to today, talking about investing a little bit. You know, we both into investing, and woke up this morning to a bad looking market this morning, man. Crypto market, that is. Mm-hmm. Well, stock market's a little bit down, but man, I'm telling you, when I woke up today and I checked my my crypto portfolios, saw that crazy dip. I was a little hurt. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, we always talk about riding the dip, buying the dip, and then staying resilient through those dips, knowing that, hey, the market's gonna recover, things gonna come back up. And it will. But I tell you, it's hard to see, man. It's hard to watch.
You ain't like taking that one on the chin this morning, huh?
Mm-mm. I woke up feeling battered and bruised this morning, man.
I didn't even look at it. You know, you said something to me about it, and I was, it is what it is, man. I knew it was happening, because I was I was waking up to notifications from all my apps this morning.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't log in to check it. I was like, it is what it is. I'm not buying a dip this time, even though I normally would, but I've been buying so many other dips throughout the week that
Yeah,
I'm not buying on this one. So I just took it on the chin and ignored it.
man. I
Actually,
look.
strange enough, I got a text message from a friend of mine. I don't even know if he invests or not. We never talked about
Mhm.
investing. He sent me the Bitcoin screenshot of what the price is. I'm like, why are you sending me this? Like,
Right,
but
right,
okay,
right.
yeah, it's down.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, if there's anything I've ever learned, man, it is to sometimes, like I said, it's hard to take, but you got to take it. You got to take it and run with it. I've seen so many dips throughout the time that we've been investing and stuff like that, and every single time it's like when it goes back up, I always sit back and say, man, I wish I would have bought more. Bought
Mm-hmm.
some, took advantage of the dip, but man, if I would have just bought just a little bit more, you know what I mean? So I took my own advice, and like yesterday, it was a little dip, and I spent some money, bought the dip, thought that was it, thought that was the floor, but lo and behold,
Yeah,
there's a basement underneath that ground level. You know what I'm saying?
always there's an
Always a
underground
basement.
basement on every dip.
So you know what I'm saying. So today I had to go in and scoop up a little bit of that underground, a little bit of that basement.
I have never successfully bought the dip ever.
It's hard. It's hard. They say you can't time the market, man. You can't time it.
You cannot time it. I have seen numbers I thought I would never see. And I was like, man, I'm buying that because that will never happen again. And
Right.
then it's like some investor on the other side is like, ooh, more people buying. I'm out. Now it's my turn to go out. And then it dips some more. And it's like,
More.
geez. But that's just a sign to say that there's always somebody that got in at a better price than you, along
Yeah.
with a few scary people that's going to get out too, and just take
Yeah.
a L, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I've taken some L's, at a small level, just so I can move money around. Because I know, hey, if I take a small L, I can get a bigger win on the back end of something else. You know.
But see, you take small L's on plays that you really may not be in love with anyway, that
Hmm.
was supposed to be short term, and you see a bigger play out there in the mix and you want to
Right.
put some money in it.
Right.
You're not just the person that's just like paper hands out here with like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
dropping
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one.
Dropping. I'm out. I'm out.
I lost
Tapping
I
out.
lost $10. I'm done. Like, eh.
Yeah. I'll take a $5, $10 loss if I know for sure I see something like bubbling. I get some news, and I know I'm gonna 5x, sometimes 10x my money. It's like, hey, look, I'll take that little bit of loss because I know I'm gonna make, you know what I'm saying, 5 times as much as my loss.
Right. Yeah, it's an ugly game, man. It's a beautiful game, but it can get rough, especially that crypto market.
Hmm.
It's different than the stock market, man. The stock
Yeah.
market been like I always joke with you and say my portfolio look bloody because everything in it been looking red lately. But that crypto market, boy, you got to have some balls for that because you can see some major swings, man.
Major
It ain't
swings.
nothing
Yeah,
to
I
see
see.
something go 20% swing and you just gotta like, oh my God, let me hold on
Take it
for
on the
dear
chin.
life. Like,
Take it on
yeah,
the chin. Roll with the punches on that for real. You know what I'm saying? That roller coaster is the
it hit different.
rise.
That roller coaster hit way different.
It's a little more
In
stable. You know
stock,
what I mean?
if it's a 5% swing in the stock market, you like, oh Lord, the day was horrible. But in
Yeah,
crypto,
5. Yeah,
that's an
yeah,
everyday
5%.
move. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna see 5%, then you're gonna go up 10%, then you're gonna drop 20%, then you might go
yeah,
15%, then drop another 20%, and then be a super recovery. Before you know it, you get
yeah,
100. You know what I'm saying? Go up 100%. Some
right.
might drop down to $1, then go back up to $2, just like that in an instance. You know. But like I've
Yep,
told you,
because
like
increments
I've
different.
learned. Yeah, I've learned my lesson in the past of always being having to sit back and saying, I wish I would have bought more. And like now I'm at the point to where, you know what? I don't want to say that no more. I don't want to have to say that. I want to have to look myself in the mirror and say, man, if I would have just go ahead and do it.
Hey man, I'm
Go with the
with
gut
you.
instinct.
I am with you. You are finally becoming a disciplined investor at this point in time. Did you learn that lesson?
Yeah,
Because man,
yeah.
that's a tough lesson for a lot of people, man.
It takes
But
time, man.
tough
It
for
takes
yourself.
time. It takes time to get that though. Especially when you've been through it enough, I guess, and seen enough cycles to know that things are going to recover. And
Right.
that's where I'm kind of at. Where it now it's like, okay, yeah, I've seen things go down for almost a year to where it took almost a year for things to recover, but it recovered, and then it recovered even bigger. You know, when I seen Bitcoin hit 10,000 and come all the way back to almost 3,000, but then shoot straight up to 50,000, it's like now at that point, it's like you got to trust it. It's like
Right.
just trust the
You gotta
process.
trust it. But you know what gave me confidence, man? Which I've kind of always been confident in it because of this whole cycle thing, like you just said. But what really reinforces my confidence for me is a conversation we had recently where you have to look and you say, man, 2021, man, just both markets, man, it was grueling. Like these were grueling fight. This was a grueling 12-round fight. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we all
Yeah.
came out with wounds and we bruised up and we got blood leaking. But at the end of it, you got to look how much we came up this year.
Yeah.
Even with all of that. And that's what reinforces my confidence. Like,
yeah. Like with Dogecoin, like I remember when I bought Dogecoin this same time last year, it was what, a third of a penny? And then if you would have told me back then that, hey, a year from now, that this third of a penny is going to be worth 16, 17 cents like it is today. That thing came all the way down to actually, I want to say 14 cents at some point this morning. But even then, if you would have told me it was going to be a third of a penny, and then by 1 year later, 12 months later, this same time next year, it's going to be worth 14, 13, 15, 16 cents. Like, take my money. I'd have been throwing money at you, you know. But now we look at the heights of where things hit and where it came down to, we get this bad idea of like, man, things are horrible. But if you go back and look, last year, this same time, even with it being 15 cents, 16 cents, how many times? That's what, 45? That's 45x. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, you know what? And you took the words out of my mouth. What I was gonna say. People get hung up on them all-time highs, and we act like we don't know that the market will correct itself at a point. You know what I'm saying? We let them all-time highs get us because we like, oh, it's trending up. It ain't no stopping it now. But in reality, it's gonna happen. It's the game. It happens from the beginning of investing. It's been happening. It's gonna scale itself back. Then it might inch up a little more, and it's gonna eventually settle somewhere before it makes its next run. You know what I'm saying? And that next run ain't guaranteed to be next week. Might be a few months. You know what I'm saying? But that's the game. Like, and we get hung up on them all-time highs, and we think that's just how life's supposed to be because it's beautiful. Yeah. You better get out if you want to love the all-time high, then get out. You know what I'm saying? But if you plan on holding on, then you better get prepared for this ride for the next few years because it's gonna be a bumpy one. Getting back to that all-time high.
I just feel bad for those people who have bought the majority of their you know what I'm saying, stake or the majority of their investments at these all-time highs. Whew. Now those guys are in a bad spot. And don't get me wrong, I have a couple of plays that are like that where I seen it going up, get caught chasing, but that's why I buy like in, you know me, small increments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm gonna play it as safe as possible. You know, you see something that look good, I put a small increment on it, you know, and then see where it's gonna go. If I make a little bit off that small increment, great. If it come down, okay, no problem. I'm just throw a little small increment on there again. We'll average it down. But man, some people went in heavy at these all-time highs, and that's gotta hurt.
It's gonna hurt if you do it in a hype play. You know what I'm saying? If you do it in a play that's just hype, then that's gonna hurt when you get caught at the all-time high because it ain't nothing fundamental about it that's gonna take it back to that point again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now you just gotta hope that over time it'll get there. But it might not catch another wave of buzz again. You know what I'm saying? But if you get caught, like in Tesla, during one of Tesla's all-time highs, it might have been like a little bit of hype, but that's still a fundamental play. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
wait it out.
It's going to go back up.
You'll get
6
there
months
eventually.
to a year, it might get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going to use Dogecoin as an example. You got caught at the all-time high for Dogecoin. you may or may not get your money back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it might take a long time for it
it
to hit
might.
75 cents again.
Yeah, but it's
You
it's
know?
nothing fundamental in Dogecoin, and the creators acknowledge that. So it's just like you hope that it catch another wave of buzz again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You might not get
yeah,
it. Like, luckily, it plateaued as one of the top 15 coins. So
right.
you
I
know,
mean,
it
and for
always
it to
stands
shoot
a
up,
chance when Bitcoin rises that some of these other ones are
it's
in the
gonna catch
top
the
15
wave
to
too.
rise with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what you got to pray on. Yeah.
yeah, man. It's all about smart investing, though, man. Making sure you pick up at the right time, holding strong through the adversity, and it's a whole lot of luck sometimes.
Whole lot of luck. Whole lot of luck, and try not to chase. You said a key thing where you don't got caught chasing.
Oh yeah.
I've got caught chasing. I got caught chasing with Dogecoin. You know what I'm saying?
Oh okay.
Like in a sense, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got caught chasing because you know how I was with them. I was flipping that Doge. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe in it at all. I
Right,
didn't want
right,
none
right.
of it. And then finally, it got to the point where I was like, all right, man, whatever, man. This seems like it ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Let me just get some for keeps. Especially when Florida started saying they were going to start accepting it in like nightclubs and stuff. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Mark Cuban said he was going to accept it at the games. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It
Have a
seemed
little
like
bit of
it's going
usage
to be
case.
around for a little bit. Let me have some on stash. And that's when I would say I got caught chasing because I'm in at a loss in Dogecoin because I'm in around
Yeah. Well,
24
see, the
cents or
thing
something like
is, like,
that
at
right now.
least yeah, but at least you got caught chasing for a good reason, though. You know, you saw some use case coming up and saying, okay, it's
Yeah.
going to be around for a while. It's going to be some uses. It's going to be some backing behind it and a reason for it to be around for a while. So let me go ahead and buy. You didn't just go ahead and get it because you saw it running up and you just hoping you can catch the wave and ride the wave up. You saw some
No.
usage,
You know how many
use
times
case
I
behind
passed
it.
the wave? Like,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah,
But
when you was pushing it on me, you know, I was kind of like, eh. It took the use case for me to get on board, but unfortunately, I got on board too late. Like
too
I say,
late.
I'm
Yeah,
around
yeah,
20 average around 24 cents or something like that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I believe it's gonna go. You know, I believe I'm gonna be in the green again with that. So I'm not really
Yeah.
concerned with Dogecoin at that price. Uh, but somebody that got in at 50 cents, oof,
60
I don't know
cents,
when it's gonna get back there.
70 cents.
I don't know when it's going there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think during tax season, you know what I'm saying, the first quarter, sometime it'll probably
Yeah,
get back into the 30s and
yeah,
I'll be in the green. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Anything
yeah.
beyond that, I don't know.
Which is a good point, man. That might be a time I'll look to sell a little bit of these hype plays that I've kind of gotten into around that time. People, got a little extra money to spend, throw some money. I see you riding up. You just brought that to my attention. A couple of months from now, I might want to look at some plays to go ahead and kind of scuff off, and hopefully they hit some green, get a little bit of push, get a little bit of run. Just because of tax season, people got a little bit extra money to invest and stuff like that and spend. Take advantage of that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, those ones you got in early on, when they say the quote unquote dumb money come in, you know, you can dump on them and get rich. I mean, that's the game.
I don't want
It
to be
sounds
that
messed
guy,
up, but
but I
that's the
got to. But I
game.
got to be that guy. Yeah, I got to be that
No,
guy.
we all gonna be that guy at a point because somebody's doing it to us. That's why we talking
Right.
about how bloody the market is. But eventually, we're on the wave after those people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Where
Yeah.
that second leg, we on the second leg because we in
I
early, and
mean,
then the people
but
on the third
don't get
leg,
me
we
wrong.
about to dump on
It's
them.
not. It's not like the money I'm dumping or the shares I'm dumping or the coins I'm dumping is enough to even affect the market. I mean, in a grand scheme with a bunch of other people, yeah, maybe so, but you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
grand scheme, but yeah,
I
yeah,
ain't
we ain't
moving. I
talking
ain't
whale
moving the meter
numbers.
too much. Yeah, I ain't moving the meter too much.
Hey man, hopefully there comes a time where where we are whales, man, and we moving the needle.
Hope so,
This
man.
podcast will be over. Sorry for you guys, but
We don't have time for that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Well, we can still do it, but we just do it from some interesting locations. You know what I'm saying? We'll just do a lot more traveling with it. You know, maybe we might hit some cigar spots, some of our favorite
Oh yeah.
places to smoke. Maybe we just take the podcast to another level. That's all it'll
Oh, yeah,
be.
that was a joke. This podcast ain't about money. It ain't making us no money like that. Just a little bit, but it ain't about no money. This is a love project, a
Yes, sir.
passion project, anyway.
Yeah. So,
Any opening thoughts on that cigar, though, man?
oh man, it's what it is. You see the smoke in the air. Well, for those who aren't viewing the podcast, there's smoke around me. I'm enjoying the aroma. It's kind of how we talked about with the Cohiba. Man, it's one of those cigars that you enjoy for the flavors, you enjoy for the aromas, and it's one of my favorites, and one of my favorites for a reason, for those particular reasons. You know, you get those aromas going, smoke filling the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Traveling, smelling good, and feeling good. So I'm just getting through my first third still. Good little burn. Burn ain't looking too bad today. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the cedar spills that helped out a lot with that.
Most definitely. Good cedar spills. Man, with mine, it's good light to medium body, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, medium body smoke, you know what I'm saying? But it's a nice little creamy,
Okay.
mainly a tobacco kind of taste, but it's a nice creamy, smooth tobacco, you know what I'm saying? Nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a maybe you could call it a toast, you know what I'm saying? Toast type deal, taste
Okay.
to it. But I like the Five Vegas, man. It's a smooth stick, man.
So I don't know if you showed us the cigar in the video on the live. Is it a light
Mm-hmm.
wrap or dark wrapper? Okay. Okay. So not too light, but not a like a dark. I
No,
guess
no, no,
Maduro, is that
not a
is that
dark.
what they call it?
I think so,
So
yeah.
which brings a question to me. What do you lean towards? Like, what catches your eye more so when it comes to shopping for cigars? Because I'm asking this question for a reason, because I found myself doing this too. You know, does a certain color wrapper, a darker wrapper, lighter wrapper, a more, saying, like, does one catch your eye more so than the other?
You know what? I the dark ones actually catch my eye. They
Mm,
always catch
okay.
my attention because
Okay.
they are more non-traditional in color wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always look at those. But as far as buying, what catches my eye is these little ones right in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Not too light, not
Okay.
too
Okay.
too dark, man. I think that's just it's so ideal to me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's what a cigar is to me. So I look at that and I say that's what tobacco's supposed to look like.
So
So
it
it
look
catches
like.
my eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, because with,
So what
with
about
me,
yourself?
well, I like a darker wrapper. That catches my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, especially when it comes to a cigar that I haven't tried before, um, of course, presentation always plays a part in it too, But when it comes to trusting what a cigar is going to come, like how it's going to present whenever you smoke it,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to trust a darker cigar more so than any other light or medium color cigar. Like for some reason, that's a safe space for me. You know, if I see a cigar that I haven't tried before, I'm more apt to pick up a darker color cigar. For some reason, it feels like it's a safe space. I don't know if it's because like Liga, they're darker color cigars. It's my Opulencia is not necessarily a dark cigar, but it's darker than I'm saying just a normal regular color tobacco, or somebody would think it's a normal color tobacco. So for some reason, maybe it's just a coincidence that all of the cigars that I usually love or in my top 5 or top 10 happen to be a darker color. I usually
Mm-hmm.
tend to lean towards that more so than anything. I think it's a safe space for me.
Well, I tell you why. Because, and from my experience also, I think some of the best ones I've had are always the ones that are darker, the rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never had a good one with a light wrap that I can't name
Mm,
you one. You know what I'm saying?
mm. I can't say I
Usually the
haven't had a
ones in
good
the
one.
middle can be hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I had a bad dark one.
Hmm.
Sometimes I feel like some of the dark ones tend to be full of pepperiness on the inside. Some of them, you know what I'm saying. But I
You
can't
know
say
what?
that
No,
I've had.
yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't. I can't say that any. I can't recall a bad one right off the top of my head, but I can definitely recall some bad light ones. In the
Yeah,
middle, the
yeah,
middle
yeah.
ground tends to kind of be hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? But those are the ones that I tend to like. When
Yeah,
they hit for me. Put it that
and the
way.
funny thing is that early on when we first started smoking cigars, like to me, my mindset was the other way around. I would tend to shy away from the darker wrapper cigars because I thought that it would be
Thought they
more
were gonna be
pepper or
stronger.
be more harsh. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
would pick up a lighter cigar, and then come to find out I didn't like that cigar. And then I started finding more cigars I liked, and then they happened to be darker wrappers. And I'm like, now, you know what I'm saying? And it's taking years for the transition that way. But where I'm at now in my space is, if I see a darker cigar, I'm more apt to pick that cigar up without even with no question or with
yeah,
less questions. You know.
yeah. A lot of good experiences with those.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, is there any light wrapper cigars you can think of that you actually enjoy?
Man, off the top of my head, I can't think of any right now. I can't name one. Unfortunately, like I want to be able to name one, but off the top of my head right now, I can't say I can name one cigar that I absolutely love that has a light wrapper.
Yeah, I mean, and just off some being, naive to it, if you just think of it, okay, as a novice just coming in, it makes sense for you to look at a light wrapper and say, okay, that's going to be creamy and
Hmm.
smooth. Let me go with that. It's
Right.
not the case.
Not the
It's
case.
not the
Not the
case. And
case.
I just ain't never enjoyed none of them, man. None of them.
Right. And I think a lot of times that's where I went wrong early on too. And maybe that's the way my mindset is now as far as, being more eye struck off a darker wrapper cigar right now. For some reason, like I just thought about that. Not the last time I went shopping for cigars, but the time before, like maybe like 2 times before. For some reason, I picked up a couple cigars that I'm going to pull out for the show, that we haven't tried yet. And that was my mindset when I was searching for these cigars. It was two things. It was presentation, um, seeing these extravagant presentations. For one, had another thought of mine. It's like, man, like this presentation also kind of sway cigar smokers, novice and seasoned cigar smokers, and then also like rappers. Like, man, like looking at a wrapper of a cigar, like I'm catching myself picking up these darker wrapper cigars more so than anything else for the ones I don't know much about. You know.
That's an interesting thought, man. I never
Hmm.
put much thought into it at all either. Never did. But I think you're on to something. Just
Yeah.
based off of experience, just going off the top of my head, I can't complain about none of the dark rappers that I ever had.
So now it makes me want to go and try to find a cigar that has a light wrapper that I can put in not necessarily my top five, but at least a top 10, top 15, like a top tier cigar from my perspective. So now I kind of want to go on a hunt.
I don't even notice them when I go in a humidor.
You don't
Truthfully,
even notice them.
don't even look that way.
Oh man, I might give it a shot. I might give it a shot.
And actually, this conversation really makes me want to do more research on the topic
Hmm.
afterwards to see, if there's anything to any reasoning behind that. You know what I'm saying? Is it what is it about the lighter tobacco wrappers
Mm.
effect
Right,
on a
right.
cigar?
And there's particular regions or whatever that produce more than another region. Like
Yeah,
are you more apt to find darker cigar or darker tobaccos, or like what's even the process? Like, are they grown that way? Like when they're dried, or is it a different process when it comes to drying them? Like what is that in between process of gathering tobacco and then I guess curating it for it to become a cigar wrapper? That's
right.
going to be the change in the in the tobacco and the wrapper and the flavor and everything that you get from that cigar. I think there's a lot more under the hood that needs to be explored. So that is definitely something. we ought to look into.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
and the
think
thing is, like,
all of that's a possibility.
yeah, we're at this point, being seasoned cigar smokers, and we have some questions. I'm pretty sure there's some other cigar smokers who probably have the same questions too, or novice and seasoned cigar smokers who might not know. I'm pretty sure there's some who already do, but then for like those who aren't studied into the culture, maybe it's just something you never really thought of. Like I didn't even think about this until like a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to come down to. People on the inside of the business and people who just really dweeb out and learning about whatever they're enthusiastic about, they probably have the answers to that. I think a lot of people may not even put much thought behind it.
Right. Because I know I didn't until now.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about it if you didn't bring it up now. You know what I'm saying? But once you put me on the spot to think about it, I'm like, well, now that you mention it,
Yeah.
The dark ones catch my eye first. I tend to go with one of the brown ones, and I never even noticed the light ones.
Man. So we got colorism in cigars.
Hey man, it's human nature, I guess, man. Hey man, let's shift gears for a second, man. I got something for you, man.
Okay.
What's up with that Ratchet versus the other day, man? So this past week we had 3-6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bone Thugs,
I didn't watch it, but what I did, I saw some clips, and I saw Bone Thugs looking like a ghetto gospel choir standing up there singing, and apparently Busy got a little upset, and then you got 3-6 on the other side, and them country boys ran down on them Ohio players, man. Like,
I mean, like, what? On paper, I don't know. Like, I was thinking about the matchup myself. Like, man, like, is that a matchup that really works? In a way, I say yes, and then a way I say no. When I look at it, and you're talking about, I had to go back into like early to mid '90s when Bone Thugs was really banging, and I remember hearing that Thuggish Ruggish Bone, like people banging that in their cars, like whew, that was the joint back then, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause I had to sit back, like, what kind of like heavy hitters does Bone have to match up to 3-6 Mafia? How they was banging, like, you know what I'm saying, the club bangers and stuff like that, and how they had the streets. And I forgot how heavy Bone had the streets. Because like when you think about them, you kind of get into when they kind of went crossover pop-ish, not necessarily pop, but they kind of cross over charts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily their sound, but they kind of cross over to charts when they went with the Crossroads and started doing songs with Phil Collins and stuff like that. And it's like, man, that's two different levels, or two different, not necessarily levels, but two different lanes, two different approaches to music. And like, that doesn't match. But then I had to go back and think about, man, when Bone first came out, they was for the streets. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They had some joints that people used to bang in their cars and used to just hit heavy. And you just heard that.
Let me ask you this. So this makes me wonder, going into the battle, then who did you look at as the favorite? Since you're saying that.
And that's why I said that, because you can't really say who's the favorite. Because
I'm saying, before you thought it through deeply, just on the surface, who did you think was going to be the favorite when you first heard the announcement, before you put thought into it? Because you always have your initial thought.
I would have went Bone. Because just off the surface thought, my thought would be that Bone is bigger than 3-6 Mafia.
Yes, and I think I asked you that because I think that was everybody's first thought is Bone. But when we talked about it briefly, I said to you, don't sleep on 3-6. Like 3-6 really got the ability to run through them.
Bone Thugs got Grammys or a Grammy. 3-6 Mafia got a Grammy. We forget about that. I think a lot of people forget that they won a Grammy. You know what I'm saying?
3-6 got songs with Katy Perry. Like, they got pop song crossover stuff too. Like, you gotta think of what Juicy J was out there doing. Like,
right.
I knew that wasn't no walk in the park for Bone Thugs. I'm like,
Bone Thugs got joints with Mariah Carey. You know what I'm saying? So
True.
it's like when you look at the surface, you're like, man, this don't match up. But then you look deeper into it, it's like, you know what? Actually, it really just comes down to a particular preference. Now that you kind of, you know what I'm saying, go under the hood and really start nitpicking and stuff like that and say, you know, actually the matchup is not that bad. It's not that off. You got groups, you know what I'm saying, who've done a lot of different things with music, not outside of just being rappers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Two different styles, but then
Yeah.
two different crossover appeals as well. I forgot how
Right.
much 3-6 actually crossed over.
If it was a boxing match, you just looking at two different. You looking at the slugger versus the, the graceful technical boxer. But it
Mm-hmm.
don't mean that they not at the high level of what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the
Now,
style
now,
matchup is different.
like you mentioned in the very beginning. Like I'm not going to say because I did watch a little bit of it or a great deal of it, and at some point it's like it didn't go together, didn't mesh well because you had at one point
Yeah.
Bone Thugs harmonizing and like you said, it sounded like or looking like a ghetto gospel group. You know what I'm saying? They singing with the harmonies and all this stuff, and then they go in their little rapping thing, and they
Yeah.
start harmonizing again. And then you got 3-6 Mafia bringing strippers on the stage. It's just like, hold on, what vibe are we going with right now? You know, so it was kind of not necessarily comical in that sense, but it was just, hold
A
on,
clash. Yeah.
yeah,
Clash
we've
of
been kind of
styles.
clashing a little bit here. So, and usually when you see these matchups, you kind of want to see something that's in the same vein a little bit. I
Like
know
a
we had like the
Jeezy versus
DMX.
Gucci.
Yeah, we had the DMX and Snoop Dogg. In my opinion, that was okay. Battle of the Dogs, but it was two different lanes. You had the West Coast feel, then you had straight New York. But then at the same time, you look at East Coast, West Coast, and how everybody want to kind of pit those guys against each other. So
Yeah.
I saw it in that sense.
But you
So
looked at that was high energy versus cool and smooth though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Also,
yeah. So it's like, man, these
dog is
don't really
intense.
match. Yeah, right. So to me, even looking at it, even saying, okay, they did match up well, hit for hit, because Mo had some hits, 3-6 had some hits. But then when it came to style, I think that was probably the most separate type of vibes you get in any verses that I've seen so far.
Right.
You
I
know.
agree.
No, don't get me wrong. They both got rowdy. You know what I'm saying? They both can get busy with the rowdiness, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Just when it comes to style of music, I just don't think that it. You know what I'm saying? It was a little off to me. But then, like you said, going with a technical boxer versus slugger. You know what I'm saying? That slugger got to watch out for the boxer's, you know what I'm saying, technique, and then that technical boxer got to watch out for that haymaker that can come at any moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, for me, what I thought Bone was at a disadvantage was just more kids was gonna relate to 3-6. You know what
Three
I'm
six.
saying? Because
Yeah.
yeah, they run spans a longer time frame. You know what I'm
Yeah, and it
saying?
comes more
Like
to
three
current too.
six
Like Juicy J, like Juicy still, you know what I'm saying? He's still current to me,
for the most part.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
for
for
the
the
most
most part,
part.
he
Yeah.
is. I mean, even if you look at people coming out they click, Project Pat got a song right now with Drake on the
Yeah.
Drake album.
Facts. Facts.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And Drake has sampled stuff like took
Mm-hmm.
lines from 3-6 and Pat. You know what I'm saying? And J. Cole too. You know, Don't Save
Mm-hmm.
Her. Yeah, all that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
3-6. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
then at the same time, I think Bone Thugs still have more songs that kind of transcend generations. You know, even though 3-6 has stuff that's out current right now, more so than Bone Thugs, and from my ear, from where I sit, you know what I'm saying? Because where I'm sitting right now, at my point in hip hop, like I feel like I'm outside. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much going on that I'm not aware of. So this is from where I sit with my hearing, how much I hear these guys. Like so, for anybody who watches this or hears this and might think differently, you know what I'm saying? From my standpoint, they're out more than Bone Thugs. I don't know if they have anything out that's current. It's like really banging like that. But still,
so
even with that,
so
I
what are
still
you
think that Bone
saying?
Thugs. Mhm.
What influence? What influence do they have? I don't see no influence. I don't see where they
I mean, like
transcended into this. And I like Bone
their
probably more
biggest
than 3-6.
songs,
So let me say that.
their
What
biggest
crossover?
songs. even like with Crossroads, like I think
Crossroads
there's
first of the month.
probably
I don't hear nobody talk about none of those no more.
you don't think so?
No.
I
No,
think
where's it brought up at? That's your favoritism. That's your age showing. If
maybe,
anything,
maybe.
people have taken, you know how everybody talk about the Migos flow? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? That comes from the 3-6 camp. That whole flow. Everybody rapping like 3-6 right now. Like, you know, they
Yeah,
sampling their songs. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They flipping their stuff. They're more of an influence on the new generation than
No,
Busy. I
I'm not
mean, not
saying
Busy,
that.
but
Like,
than Bone Thugs.
I agree with that. But I'm talking about the songs as they are. To me, I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like maybe like you said, maybe it's a personal thing. Maybe you're talking about my generational type of thing. And I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, too old to latch on to 3-6 when they got popping and got going. But just for me, as I grew up, Bone Thugs has more to me that transcends generations. Like you said, I could
Yeah.
be
See,
wrong. I could be wrong.
this is
I
the
might have to
thing.
pull some of the newer generation, you know what I'm saying, some 18 and under, some 25 and under, and pull them and ask them.
I guarantee they go with 3-6 because this is the thing. We were children when Bone Thugs was popping. We were
Mm-hmm.
kids.
Mm-hmm.
When 3-6 really got going, we were entering adulthood. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
college and beyond. Right.
High school. I say high school. You know what I'm saying? All that
Not for me.
slobbing
Well,
on my
I guess
knob and stuff.
yeah. You're right.
You
You're right.
know,
You're right.
all that was high school. What was some of the other joints they had with like LeChat and all them songs, man, and Gangsta Boo? A lot of those, man, was like 2000. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's high school time frame for us. You know, by 2001, we won't talking about Bone Thugs
Not
really
at
no
all. Not
more.
at all.
But
Not at all.
so
They had a couple.
you
They had a
got
couple songs here and there. A few songs here and there.
yeah. But I'm saying it's impactful. That was their run was done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But so from our mid to late teens all the way up until now, 3-6 has had some type of influence. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I just think I don't know, man. I think that's hard to contend with, man. You know,
Yeah.
the run they had from I Choose You, the International Players song. You know what I'm saying? With Outkast, like they produced that one, and actually they had a version with them on it, which didn't go
Yeah.
out. You know what
I
I'm
know about
saying?
that. Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just they had a 3-6 is underrated, man. Like you said, man, as far as that goes. But to me, of course, Bone Thugs is more personal to me because it's from that time frame when we was kids and falling in love with hip hop. So it's gonna
Right.
hold a fondness to us
Right.
versus when we're adults and slightly frustrated with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So
Slightly.
for myself, I say slightly. You know, extremely for you.
But I was very disgruntled as a young 20 something with hip hop.
Yeah. You was mad as hell with hip hop from like 2000 from I'm gonna say from 19 up until 30. You was mad with hip hop.
And I had to get to the point of letting it go. You know what I'm saying? Letting that grudge go. It took a while. But I finally let the grudge go. You know what I'm saying? For one, like I said, I'm not as deep in the culture as I once was. You know, so my I guess my how much I'm invested in it now is a little different than how it was like before. Like that's what you wore. You know what I'm saying? You wore hip hop every day
Yeah.
every time you walked out the house and when you got to the house and when you was on the job, when you was in school. You know what I'm saying? It was in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, so I was more invested in it, or you know what I'm saying, than I am now. So I had to let it go. Like you know what? Let the kids have it. It's cool. Things change. Things shift. All right, I surrender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the fact now that also, you know, radio's not as prominent and you can go get the music that you want, that you like easier than you could back when we were coming up. You had to listen to whatever was being played. You go to the club, you listen to what's being played in the club. You ride in the car, listen to the
Yeah.
radio, you listen to what's being played on the radio. Now you have so many different avenues to be able to go and curate your own, you know what I'm saying, playlist and
Listening
what you
experience.
want to listen
Yeah.
to. Yeah, your listening experience on your own now. So I don't have to be as disgruntled as I once was. and in addition to understanding that, you know what I'm saying, culture shift, things change, sound changes, styles change. Don't get me wrong, still a little frustrated, but not as much as before, man. You remember, you remember I was disgruntled.
You was hot. You was hot with it. You was hot with it. You was married with hip hop when New York still had it. So
Yeah.
you started getting frustrated a long time ago. Like it was before the South took over. You was married with it.
Yeah.
That is funny, man. But you know, it definitely has shifted. But I think them guys have more of an impact with the way it is, because you got to think about it, man. The South has had the torch, has been running with the baton for a long time.
Yeah.
And them guys being Southern artists, everything still has the Southern music's DNA within it right now. So of course they're gonna have more an impact on what's going on now than Bone Thugs. Even though everybody's harmonizing, nobody's gonna say that they got it from Bone Thugs.
You know,
but nobody's gonna acknowledge him as a innovator of that. Nobody gives them their props for that.
Yeah.
Nobody's I got that from Bone Thugs.
True.
Look at it. They all got it. They all got it from Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne got it from T-Pain.
No,
and T-Pain definitely didn't get it from them.
And the thing is,
he was trying to R&B sing, so he didn't get it from them.
Ja Rule. People don't even give Ja Rule. Like, they'll skip over Bone Thugs. They'll skip over Ja Rule. They'll go to Drake before they go to anybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, no, that predates Drake. No, that predates Ja Rule. That predates. You can keep going back and back and back. And I think, honestly, well, you can argue Biz Markie. Yeah.
I would give it to Biz. Now I don't know before that. Biz is the person.
He was the first one. Yeah, he was the first one with a smash, singing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else had a smash single singing before Biz. But of course, Bone Thugs made a career out of it. You know what I'm saying? They made it their whole style to every song, every album. That was what they were doing.
And did it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did it well. That's the important thing. Nobody criticized all they harmonizing and singing.
But even Ja Rule, what's up?
So who is everybody saying actually came out the victor in this? Because I hadn't been following it, even though I don't know. Touch on it.
I don't know. I don't think any. Well, from what I've watched already, and then from what I heard, even with the commentary after, I haven't really heard anybody pitting anybody as the victor yet. You know, I think more was made of the incident.
Fight.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the fight, the clash or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the scuffle, then who actually came out, you know what I'm saying, as the victor in the whole bout. So I can't even say. But if you ask me, from what I've seen, I would give it to 3-6.
Really?
I just think they moved the crowd more. Like, and the thing is, now you have a crowd to base it on. As before, you didn't have a crowd. They was just doing it on their phones, or they got into a little studio together and did their thing. Then, you know, you see the comments or you get your feeling from at home, but now you got the whole crowd. So now you got the crowd factor, and I think they moved the crowd more than Bone did. I mean, which
I would imagine.
It's
Bone,
not
Bone
fair.
really didn't have nothing to move the crowd except for maybe Notorious Thugs, Thug Love. Those will move it, but a lot of their music is such vibey music that it's hard to move a crowd. It's hard to move a crowd the way 3-6 gonna move it when they come out with that crunk,
right,
beat people up music, like, you know what I'm saying, like,
yeah. So just based on the crowd, I gotta give it a 3-6. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I enjoyed their show more, even though I probably I like Bone's music better because just how we grew up was ushered into hip hop. But just off the eye test and then even off the ear test and saying, you know what I'm saying, watching their performance, I think 3-6 got it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm no 3-6 fan. I'm not a huge Bone fan either, but you know what I mean? Bone resonates.
That dance will make a dance and get you right.
You know what? It did.
I know it did. Juicy, man. You when Juicy came out there, you was feeling it.
I give him that. I give him that. I give him that.
That's a round. You know what I'm saying? That's a round. Oh man. But check it out, man. You got any final words on your cigar, man? Let's go ahead and get into rating those.
Oh man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So still a top five. And of course, we're kind of still filling out my top five. As it stands so far, the only two cigars I've rated in my top five was the T52 Liga Privada, and then the La Opulencia from my father's. So, can I pick a 1 and 2 right now with those two? I can't say just yet, but those two definitely in my top five. If I want to give you some technicals about the cigar, it's a medium body smoke, great aroma. I'll give you that. As far as the notes I get from the cigar, you get more of that wood earthy tones. Like you get those notes. No leather. So for those who do not like leather, you're not going to get a leather taste from this cigar at all. And just going off what I recollect, I'm only in the second third right now, just the beginning of the second third, or maybe like halfway through the second third. But I can tell you, it's no leather throughout the cigar. No bite, no pepper in the beginning. Finishes well, and like I said, you get a lot of wood, earthy notes. Just a great cigar, especially like if you want to go with a cigar that has a great aroma too. This is one of them. Definitely one of them.
Right. So what's the rating?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the rating. Let's give it a 4.7. It's not a perfect cigar.
Great score.
Let's give it a 4.7 though.
Okay. And for this 5 Vegas, I'm so torn on the rating because whatever rating I give it is not gonna. It's gonna sound like I didn't enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? But I actually enjoyed the cigar. But I want to give it I'm gonna say like a 3.7. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah. It's a good cigar, man. I mean, it's not like a whole lot of change to it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we're in the second third of it. It's gonna kind of be what it is as far as the cigar goes. But I enjoy the things about it that it brings, even though it's not like this big roller coaster ride of a cigar. It's gonna be like I said. It's a creamy smoke. It's really more of a tobacco creamy taste to it. A little nutty, a little toasty type flavors to it, but it's just smooth. Good body on the smoke, you know what I'm saying? Just solid, consistent cigar. But I can't give it this high rating just based off of the fact that some lack of complexity, but it's a fun, enjoyable cigar. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can pick it up if you ain't doing too much. It's good for a nice little early afternoon smoke. You know what I'm saying? And you can continue on with your day.
So we're gonna call this a background cigar.
Yeah. So even though I'm giving it, even though it falls underneath the 4 ranking, you know what I'm saying, it's still something worth having in your humidor. You know what I'm saying? For particular occasions.
All right, give us the name one more time.
5 Vegas, the classic.
5 Vegas, the classic. Okay. All right, I want to put that on my radar too. You know what I mean? I do need some more cigars that I can enjoy in the background. You know, as I find myself trying to carve out a little bit more time for doing things. I do want some cigars that I can have in the background. You know, we talked a little earlier this week, or I think it was last week. I smoked I went back and revisited the Rocky Patel Disciple, and we talked about in the podcast where I couldn't focus on the cigar and you know figure out where the cigar was and all the complexities of the cigar because we got so engulfed in our conversation. So I had to actually spend time and enjoy the cigar. And that definitely wasn't a cigar that you want to just put in the background. So I do want some cigars I can put in my stash that, I can grab this and go do something, and not have to necessarily focus on the cigar and want to try to enjoy it. Because there's some cigars that I want to, when I sit back, I don't want to be bothered. I just want to enjoy the cigar for what it is.
Yeah, this cigar won't interfere with what you got going on. You can go cut the grass, you can build something, you can grill, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy your cigar, have a conversation.
Yeah.
And, it won't interfere with what you got going on. And you ain't missing out on no more than what it's doing anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what you picking up on is what's gonna be happening. But it's solid though. It's nice, medium cigar. Ain't gonna be too crazy, you know what I'm saying? And you
like it.
Can enjoy yourself. Yeah.
We like it.
Most definitely.
All right, man. Well, shoot. Well, let's go and close this up then, man. I'm enjoying my cigar Saturday. It's still early. We got a whole lot of day left. So I'm gonna finish this bad boy off.
Oh yeah, most definitely. All right, well, we appreciate everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We'll get with you next week.
Yes, sir. Cigars up.
Yes, sir.